Good evening. This is Hutten-Czapski. I'm here to show you the dashboard feature of Oscar 19. So let's log in. So let's sign in here. Here we go. And happy Good Friday to everybody. So your Oscar may not look like this, may look a little bit differently. However, most Oscars, Oscar 15 and plus, including Open Oscar, including Well Health, will have a dashboard. Well Health in the classic view, and you might have a number of entries showing here. Now, if you're in Well Health, this might be disabled by default, in which case you have to activate it. So let's do that. We go to Administration, so click to Administration, go to the Administration panel, and we want to do a little bit of assigning roles to an object, right? Okay. So we look for Control F, we look for Dashboard. And what you want to see is Dashboard Change User is a Oscar 19 feature. Dashboard Common Link is an Ontario feature, but basically for administration and doctor roles you need Dashboard Display, Dashboard Drill Down, and Dashboard Manager assigned, okay, and all rights. To do that you have to go, let's say you want to do that to doctor, you go down to the bottom. I got a lot of things here, don't I? And we pick a role, in this case doctor, and then we go down to dashboard and we pick the ones we want. This one, well, in most cases it would be just the bottom three, and then we'll assign all rights to them and add. Okay. If that's done the case, then your dashboard will actually start showing up again, like here, except it won't have any entries in it. So let's get some entries going. So we go back to Administration panel. You get out of that particular screen. We go into Reports and into Dashboard Manager. Okay. Yours will have nothing populated here, or maybe there'll be some things that haven't been hooked up yet. Let's say we have nothing. So we have to add something. We have to add an indicator. So let's browse and see what we have here. Documents, do we have anything? Let's add this one. I think this is what we have here. And then what we do is we import. Okay, template imported successfully. If it doesn't parse properly, there'll be a red error here in this position. Now, you want to add it to a dashboard, and if you don't have any, if this is the first time you're using this feature, you may not have any dashboards created for you by your OSP. So you will want to create a dashboard, and so let's pick a dashboard name, like, so let's say test, and then what we can do is we can save that, right? And if we don't like it, we've got two tests, well, we can, of course, we can render it inactive. Okay, so let's now have a dashboard name. Okay, in this particular case we're interested in, let's say, COVID. It's topical right now. So we have a name, COVID at risk. Okay, we have a number of indicators for that. Now I've got a number of indicators loaded here. So let's go to the last of the list here. And the one I just imported here, it's a dummy one. It's chronic kidney disease. It's a test one. Okay, and it's for this purpose, let's add it into the category and we'll call it COVID at risk. We'll add it to that dashboard. Okay, so it's enabled. The slider is this way as opposed to that way, so it's enabled, and it's assigned to a dashboard. That's all we need at this point. So we can go back to the dashboards. Okay, back to, sorry, the group view of your schedule and go to the thing. You can click on COVID at risk, and that will open up your COVID at risk dashboard. So let's do that. Now, let's just renew this, and so because it really takes a few seconds to do all the things, There are some things in this dashboard that are particularly OSCAR 19, like for example changing the dashboard provider to another provider. The other dashboards are just strictly limited to the signed in provider. No matter. Here this is COVID at risk is the category, that's the name of the dashboard, and the category is vulnerable population, and here is the subcategory obesity, and this is one indicator for BMI. In this particular indicator, you can see BMI is not recorded in a lot of my patients, maybe 300 of them. The most common category is overweight, to maybe 250 patients. We have a little over 200 patients that are at ideal weight and a very small number that are underweight. Unfortunately, we have about 50 patients that are obese class 3, that is, with the BMI over 40, as indicated, as calculated by the indicator. Now, this is all very interesting in terms of an idea. And then what do you do with this? Well, you can look at it over time. So you can show trend over time in OSCAR 19. You can get some information on the indicator. So here is information about the indicator, including gobbledygook about the SQL in terms of how it got the information. We're not that interested in that. But the most important part really is the drill down. So you want to see which patients, and in this case, the drill down focuses on class 3 obese, to see which patients in your practice are particularly vulnerable for COVID at risk. Okay. We have the same type of indicator for immunosuppressed. For example, prednisone in my practice seems to be the most common immunosuppressive drug being used. And we have chronic kidney disease, which shows we have EGFR of showing by CKD stage. Okay, and so it's for COVID at risk, of course, it's stage 4 and 5. We're at the highest risk, that is if EGFR less than 30. And this is another representation of the same thing. Again, we can get the indicator info here. It shows the same sort of thing in terms of that. Here we go. Let's see indicator info, and that's all very good. And here are the people who are at highest risk. And once you have gone through your charts and labeled, and we'll show you how to bulk label your charts with particular conditions in the disease registry, then these charts, the patients with diagnosis at high risk, will be populated and up to date. So now if we remember back to this panel, if you show, where are we here? Let's see, just get the last category here. Okay, so at risk by age. I'm just trying to find this indicator because it's being sanitized. At risk by age. At risk by age. Okay, so CKD 4 and 5 test. Okay, so CKD 4 and 5 test. So let's find that CKD 4 and 5 test. Okay, so on this one we should be able to drill down safely. Well, I'm afraid I was getting one ready for you, and just said it wouldn't show any patient data. That's the problem with showing the drill down, is that it actually does show the patient's names, and I don't want to do that because some of this data is production data. But what it would show is basically a table in which you have all the names and the number of actions you can do for them. And one of them is to check them all off and assign a code, a disease registry code, to them so that they can be picked up with your in your summative table where he talks about patients with diseases at highest risk. So for our practice, we've got 1 of chromosomal abnormalities, 5 neurological conditions, 23 immunosuppressed, 8 people with CKD stages 4 and 5, that's with the EGFR less than 30, and 61 people with class 3 obesity. If you structure them by age, those who are at risk mostly are between the ages of 55 and 75. And that's pretty much it for now. I think if this interests you and you want to look at some notes on that, you can go to World Oscar, you can go to Manual, you can go to General Operations, you can go to Indicator Dashboard, and that will give you the local indicator dashboard and instructions, a lot about which we spoke about here. This is a picture of a sanitized drill down where only one patient showed up, abracadabra, and so you can see that you have a number of actions that you can do on this patient's. If you click off this checkbox, you can render them inactive. You could assign the disease registry as mentioned, and you can also do assign a tickler, which is also a very useful feature of the indicator dashboard. When all that is said and done, especially if you're assigning a bulk assignment of a disease code, you'll get an email in your inbox. And so in your inbox, you'll see that the system will send you a bulk addition to the disease registry report. And you'll see that if I, for example, did this assignment, which I just did, for my patients with immune deficiencies due to the medications, the ICD-9 code, this was adjusted and added to these demographics with this provider. This is for auditing purposes, and also give you a chance, if you've done something wrong massively, that you could undo it by going to the charts and undoing the ones that have been added in error. I hope that's been helpful for you. As always, Peter Hutten-Czapski.